Hey, creative people, and welcome to The Vibe. This is Juanine here, your creative alignment coach, coming to you with a pep talk on how to balance your creative power in mind, body, spirit, family, and business without losing your center, your core, like the essence of who you are, right? I know that to get to the point that I'm at now, I really had to focus. I had to focus, like focus my intention and attention on that which I was trying to create, right? So if my attention wasn't focused, that immediately would throw me out of balance in mind, body, spirit, family, business, whichever one of those areas and rest that didn't have balance or that I didn't have intention unbalancing, those would be some of the largest problem areas for me, right? So let's say my family situation has been doing good and I still feel like creative when it comes to my family, or um when I'm mentally, like my mental capacity is kind of balanced because I've been putting lots of intention on making sure that I'm thinking clearly and that I'm thinking logically, that I'm being fair, right? But if I haven't been putting attention into my spiritual practices, I might be finding myself being spiritually attacked more often and affected by it, right? Like feeling like my spirit is just off. Like I can't, if I'm not able to kind of see what's coming and use my foresight, then my spiritual balance may be off. Those are signs, right? Or like if I'm having a hard time relating to other people, a lot of times that has to do with my spirit being out of balance. But the only way you're going to know if you're out of balance or not is through practice of being intentional. You have to know when you're on and you have to know when you're off. Kind of like getting to know your own body, right? When you get to know your own body, you know what gets you to spark in a positive manner. And you also know what gets you sparked off in a negative manner because you've interrogated your emotions and your feelings in that area, right? So it's really taking the time to like be intentional about who I am and what it is that I want to create and what is the experience that I wish to have when it comes to my mind, when it comes to my body, my spirit, my family, my business, and even rest. We have to be intentional about how we want to rest, when we're creating and in the future, when you're imagining the future, right? Because you're a creator and you're on that level. If you're watching this video, you vibrate at a very, very high frequency. And it's a high possibility that either you haven't been honest with yourself or you've been afraid to be honest with the people around you about how sensitive your abilities are. And wherever you're at, that's fine. But what I'm saying is you need to take those sensitivities and apply them intentionally towards that which you want to create if you haven't already been doing it. And if you're watching this video, you do it sometimes, right? But being consistent in the attention you give to the building of your manifestations, that's what's necessary. That's what's necessary. And that's why I'm making this video. And that's what this message is about. Is you may be feeling like you're going to lose who you are if you do what's necessary to be balanced. But that's because you're most likely sitting in a false perception. Real talk. I just got to be straight up of who you are. It's a high possibility that the hype and success that you've built around who you portray is not really who you are. And so when You think about having balance in mind, body, spirit, family, business, and how you rest around that perspective. It's hard to fathom balance because you're trying to balance something that doesn't belong to you, that's not yours, and that really does not fit your soul well. And when it doesn't fit your soul well, it's like literally trying to force a baby back up the birth canal. Okay? So that's really this message is, if you want balance, you need to take time to be intentionally aware if it's balance or change that you need. That's the first thing. Because not everything needs to be balanced. Some things need to be totally eliminated out of your reality because it's taking you backwards and it's not moving you forward. So you have to be clear about where you're going and what it is you desire to experience to know if you are in balance or completely out of alignment with the spiral or shape that you should be vibrating in. Okay, so when you practice this, so you can practice by meditations, doing internal personal chakra alignments. Stay tuned. I'll be creating resources for all of this, but if not, you could do your own research, right? Okay, so just pay more attention to you. When you take care of yourself and you put yourself first, it's more than just saying, you are treating me like crap, and so I'm just going to wait for something better. Because in a sense, that's not doing the self-work completely. Like, that's one step in the right direction. But the work that is necessary in putting yourself first is really being honest with why you haven't been first, and being honest with in a way that doesn't point the finger at somebody else. Why haven't you been first in mind, body, spirit, family, business, and rest? In whatever area it is that you've been feeling a struggle. And what is it about you and you alone, that has prevented you from doing that? That's how you find the true balance, right? So for me, spiritually, I had been out of balance for a while. And the first answer is, well, the person that I was with wanted me to trust them more than I trusted my own intuition. And so I decided to just, because I trusted that person, I wanted to believe that they weren't trying to F me over, and that they really care for me spiritually. So if they did, then maybe they see something I don't see. And so I'm going to just follow what they say instead of following my own intuition. That would be my excuse, right? But if I'm trying to do the real self-work and putting myself first, what I would think about in a situation like that of, how did I end up in a situation where spiritually I was declining or neglecting my power, is because I didn't believe enough in my own power to be true to it. Ooh, shucka, shucka, shucka. Ain't that the truth? It is. That's the truth. Because if I really believed in who I was, I wouldn't put up with that. And I would not have second guessed myself. And I would not have even entertained the thought that I should listen to someone else more than I listen to my own intuition. Because that immediately is a red flag for me, spiritually. For someone, if someone really is concerned about my well-being, they wouldn't say, listen to me more than you listen to yourself. They would this is what I found out. Let's learn together, you know? And sometimes they start there, and if they veer off into a different path, y'all are now on different frequencies, and you have to just be strong and brave enough to keep evolving. Because if you desensitize yourself and desensitize your gifts, what it's saying to the universe is, I really don't care about walking in my God power. It's easier for me to be led to lead. It's easier for me to be created than to create. And I'm okay with that. That's what it's saying. But as creators, we'll never really be okay with that, even if you pretend like you are. And so the struggle you may be feeling around creating with balance in all areas of your life, because that's really what you want. You want to vibrate at the highest frequency available to your reality and your avatar, right? It takes some real introspection. It takes time by yourself and turning off all the voices that confuse you so you can get clear on what you really feel and getting sensitive enough to feel. And if you're not feeling, then you need to probably look at what you've been eating and what not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. What have you been putting into your system? Because it may be a whole bunch of junk food clogging up your spiritual antenna. So you can't hear clearly, or you're getting mixed messages, or you're feeling wishy-washy because your spiritual system is so dirty. So clean your ish up and allow yourself to become sensitive again, and don't feel bad about it, because you see and you do know, and you need to trust that you know. And when you know that you know, then it's just trusting that you can be led to how the pieces of your life and your reality in the 3D can match that which you're creating in the 5D. And if it doesn't match up, don't force it. If it doesn't match up, take the gift in the moment, but still be clear on what is a vibrational match for your frequency in mind, body, spirit, family, business, and how you rest. That rest is important, because in the rest is when we get to reset and actually really see if we're in calibration or not. Okay, so that's all that I have for you right now. You know what's in alignment. You know. So stop pretending like you don't know. And boss up. Own up to what you know, and be brave enough to show up in that frequency and make magic, because you are such a magical divine being. That's what you're created to do. That's what we are created to do. So let's do it. Okay? All right. Until next time, no matter what you do or how you do it, be authentic. Swanine, your creative alignment coach. Bye.